I put my trust in you, and I trust in our love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love. I put my trust in you, and I trust in our love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love.
Hello, friends. My name is Dane Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain, and we're your fuck buddies.
We are a dating and sex advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
Simply put, we find questions either online or from our wonderful listeners, and we answer them right here, right now, in your ears, every Monday, and also on stage.
That's correct. Our next live show will be February 8th. And
Wait a minute. That sounds like a day that something special is happening.
It does sound like a day that something special happening. It's our good friend Stephen Bartholomew's birthday.
Hey, Steven, this episode's for you. But wait, it sounds like there's something else as well. Maybe something real.
Also, our good friend Marcus Bartholomew.
I'm going to walk right out.
We have a very exciting guest joining us on February 8th. It's kind of like a pre-Valentine's Day get together. It's beating the rush. And we decided to invite our lawfully wedded pod wives to the show to entertain you the way that they entertain themselves and their audience on their Canadian Podcast Award-winning show. It is the wonderful Maddie and Liv from 30 Going on 13.
I like how it sounds like you are announcing them and they're about to hop on this call right now. But they
are in the closet with me right now.
Oh, okay. I can see, this is on video for the first time ever. So
they're just off camera. They're right here.
I would hear them giggling, Dane.
I've made sure the mic isn't pointed their way. It's a very sensitive mic.
You got me. So if you come to this show on February 8th, and why wouldn't you? You're going to get outstanding health and fiction. No, health and fitness. You're going to get outstanding adult show. You're going to get outstanding comedy show. You're going to get me. You're going to get Dane. You're going to get Maddie. You're going to get Liv. It's going to be fucking great. So come out, have a blast. And it works if you love or hate Valentine's Day. It's both pro and anti-Valentine's, depending on which section we seat you in.
And what I really like is Niall and I have made a career being a sex-positive podcast. Maddie and Liv have frequently and consistently described themselves as sex-negative. So I think we're going to have...
going to happen.
We're going to have a real great dynamic in terms of Niall and I talking about the terrible shit that we talk about, and Maddie and Liv crying on stage. I'm excited. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you haven't listened to their show, please head on over to 30 Going on 13 and check them out. And then you'll see why you have to come to the show.
We've been to every live show they've done, and they've been incredible.
Yes.
So
I would say their show is incredible. Obviously, it won a Canadian Podcast Award, but I would say they thrive in a live environment. I think they are like audience succubus.
Well, unlike the two of us, they are actual performers as well. So
I went to school for performing.
Okay, unlike me, everyone on the stage is going to be. I mean, like they've done stuff.
What the fuck does that mean?
They've been on stage prior. When were you on stage? When were you on stage?
I was in the production of Billy Liar when I've done all kinds of community theater.
I did school.
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
I've also been on film.
Film? That's not stage. I'm sorry, Dan. I was trying to give them a compliment. I inadvertently stabbed you in the face. I love you. But this week, we're going to be talking about, can I ask my catfish boyfriend for a social security number?
What do you do when your best friend betrays you on your podcast?
Is cold approach real?
Being stabbed in the back by your best friend.
I matched with 3 women at the same time. What do I do?
Damn. I mean, look, we've had this conversation several times. We've talked about it every chance we get. You have a classic sitcom 3-way date running from place to place.
Just jump into answering it right now.
What do you mean?
We were still in the.
Oh, I thought that was the first. I thought that was the first question. I thought
Did you forget what I said the first one was? You are not on point right now. You're thrown by my betrayal.
I'm reeling from the devastating attack that I received.
Good thing you're going to edit it out so I don't look like a bad guy.
Absolutely not. You're the bad guy.
Dane told me to say it, and now he's trying to like turn the tables on me. It's a weird move.
I'm making a campaign in 2024 for best host, and this is the sympathy vote.
Oh, fair. This is by Spiritual Cookie 1070. Am I wrong to ask my boyfriend for his social security number? I want to run a background check on my boyfriend. I'm pretty sure he's a catfish. We've been talking for over a year and never met in person. He says his phone is broken. We've never spoken face to face on a video call. He has asked me for money, promised to pay me back, and then hasn't given me a penny. I gave him money for a flight, and he canceled, and then didn't return the flight money. He makes me send him money through crypto.com. He doesn't sound like a scammer. He sounds like he cares. He has decent excuses, but he has avoided me in person and has admitted to lying to me about how he spent some of the money I sent him. He wants my login information for myid.com. Says he needs it to complete an application so he can get money to visit me. Something about me being a personal reference, but he won't explain what the application is for in detail and won't let me fill it out myself. I told him if he needs that info, he should give me the same info in return. He says he doesn't have his social security number, even though he was, apparently, filling out financial paperwork. He won't give me his state ID either for a license or something. Am I wrong for asking? Am I wrong for wanting to run a background check on him?
I love that you're like, you literally listed what internet scammers do for the first half of your question. And then you follow it up with, he doesn't sound like a scammer because, hey, hey, darling,
he literally could not sound any more like a scammer.
Yeah, you are sort of, it's like you went to www.whatisascammer.com and are just reading the things on that site. He's like straight up stealing money from you. How much money have you given him?
Oh God, I don't even want to know.
And the fact that like it's not even like e-transfers, it's through crypto.com. Like I can't. Is 2024 the year that I stop being generous and just be like, this is your fault. You know better. And if you don't, then it's time to learn a very hard lesson. We've been so generous and so gentle.
Is 2024 a mean year?
Maybe. It certainly is yours.
Okay, all right. Look, if anybody asks you for money, you should probably weigh it pretty seriously because it's the number one way that, friendships die, taking or giving money in that sense. So it's the thing you should be very careful of anyway in your established relationships with people you know and love. If someone's like, damn, yeah, my phone's just broken and I can't see you, and just send me money though, it's fine. Like, how about this? Here's a rule. Don't give anyone money until you've met them in person.
And like,
and maybe don't
talking
even then. Text, I assume.
His phone's broken.
Yeah, I know. A computer, and no computers have webcams.
Yeah, no webcam or microphone in any modern computer.
No.
It's like you've got to stop. Just everyone stop. Put down what you're doing. Just stop. And just for a good 30 seconds, don't do anything and just say, hey, am I doing something stupid right now? And it doesn't have to be dating or sex related. I'm just saying, like, there's a very good chance that...
Is it... Wait. Is it... Why have I spent 5 years podcasting? Why have I done this for 5 years? So much time every week spent on this.
Uh-oh.
I don't even get a paycheck.
Uh-oh. I opened Pandora's box.
We're going to be doing podcast stuff tomorrow, Dane, for like 12 hours straight.
Yeah, it's a lot of podcast.
That's a lot of podcasts.
Oh, I wish you hadn't said that to me.
Okay, guys, we're going to end this episode early. Maybe there won't be one next week.
We got to 10 minutes. This is bad. And like, there's so many things we need to talk about. One, if you've never seen a person and you've never talked to them and you've never met them and you've never web chatted with them, you're not dating them. Like, yes. They're not your boyfriend. I'm sorry. Yeah. They just aren't. I don't care how deep the connection is. I don't care how romantic they are. I don't care how in love you think you are. You're not dating someone you've never met. You're not dating someone you've never talked to. You're not dating someone you've never had any sort of experience with outside of anonymous texting. You just can't. And I'm not saying that you can't have long distance relationships. I'm not saying that you can't have mostly online relationships. You can, but you can't call someone your boyfriend. And this is, I'm sure there's someone who's going to fight me on this. I'm sure there's someone who will come at me for it, but you cannot call someone your boyfriend if you've never met them.
Yeah, nor should you.
And it's wild to me that someone would go to that length and then ignore all of the obvious signs. Like how did we get to the point where people, like, I would say under the age of like 50 and below, why are we all not so fucking suspicious of everyone, everywhere, always? And not just online. Like, when we were kids, we were told, watch out for stranger danger. And when we first all started getting on the internet and chatting and getting on message boards and chat rooms and stuff, they were like, hey, everyone on the internet is a pervert. Everyone on the internet is a creepy old man who's going to fucking kidnap you. And so it's like,
I was never told that, to be fair.
That's because there's no creepy old man or perverts in Ireland.
No, it's true. It's like the snakes. St. Patrick drove them out.
Snakes and perverts.
Snakes and perverts into the ocean. Only one of them survived, and it's the better one. The
perverts.
Oh. Damn, you heard it here first.
Ooh.
Dane, not a performer, supporter of perverts. I just don't understand how you could ever believe that any person in this modern world does not have a phone for any extended period of time, let alone a laptop. There's we have too many ways to take pictures and videos. We have an abundance of them.
Like, does he not have does he have an Instagram account?
Does he not have a fucking friend who's like, hey, yeah, dude, borrow my phone for an hour. It's cool. Or hey, I'll get a laptop. Or it doesn't make sense. There is no way on earth ever somebody is out of commission, out of contact for any extended period of time, and they're not scamming you.
And even just look, they asked to borrow money. They didn't it would be one thing to be like, hey, I had a car crash. I need money to fix my car. Okay, there's no way of confirming
scams. That's fine. You're still getting scammed.
You're still getting scammed, but there's no way of confirming that. But to be like, hey, I need money for a plane ticket to come see you, and then he doesn't do that, and then also doesn't send the money back.
Yeah,
that the man stole from you. I don't understand how you haven't moved on from that.
Yeah, and even then, he also on other occasions was like, yeah, no, I did lie about what I spent your money on. Sorry.
Also, you're not getting it back.
Yeah, just this man should have been dumped an indescribable an amount as long as his fake social security number. That number, that's how many times he should have been dumped by now.
Yeah. The second he asked you for money before meeting you or anything else, you should have been absolutely not, stranger on the internet that I've never met.
Yeah.
I just y'all, no.
Stop. No. Stop getting scammed.
I'm going to walk around with a holstered spray bottle and just spritz people. You're all being bad kitties right now. You're all being kitties, knocking stuff off the fucking counter. And instead of the counter or a cat, it's you and your financial well-being. Don't give him a password to anything. I don't care if it's your fucking Neopets account.
Just don't. And yes, dump him. Don't even bother asking for a social security number, because he will scam you on that too somehow, I'm sure.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't
dump
matter.
him. Just dump him right now.
Just ghost him. Just cut all ties.
Yes. Or no, sorry. Forget everything we just said for the last minute. You need to scam him. You need to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Something happened and there's been a block on my account. I need to pay $200 to get the $10,000 I'm going to send you out, right? And because you've fallen for his scam so many times, I think you might actually be able to get away with it.
Mm.
And are you going to recoup all your losses? Probably not. But is it going to be really nice to abscond with his $200? Yeah, it will. So I say you get him back and then ghost him.
Yeah. I want to get him back.
I want to scam him right back because he scammed me 90 times.
I love Olivia Rodrigo. I don't know why it took me so long. It's, you know what? It's because that the first song, I don't remember what it was called, but the one that sounded exactly like the Paramore song. And I was like, another pop person trying to...
The first song was Driving License.
Okay, whatever. The one that really popped off.
Yeah, driver's license.
Okay. This is from Sex Throwaway. Wanting raw sex? Boyfriend is concerned. I'm a 23-year-old female. Boyfriend is a 23-year-old male. We've been together for 2.5 years. I've got the implant. Yay, next plan on. And I take the pill. Regulates my cycle more effectively. And he's still worried that somehow I'll get pregnant if he hits it raw. I don't know how I can convey to him that the risk is infinitesimally small. I love this man with all my heart and see a future with him, but at some point I want to be nutted in.
Well, like, one, I was very confused when you started reading this question because I was like, I don't remember you saying this at the top of the episode. Then I realized you broke our sacred covenant just to make jokes.
That we've been doing for like 4 weeks.
Which has been great, let's be fair. And this was the most special day because it's finally recorded, Dane.
Yep.
And you shat all over that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if this question was reversed and it was like, my girlfriend's on the pill, I should be allowed nutting her, we would be very quickly being like, hey, dude, it's what she's comfortable with. And you know what? Hey, girl, it's what he's comfortable with.
Yeah,
it doesn't
his body,
matter.
his choice.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if the risks are low. It doesn't matter. It matters what he's comfortable with. He is not comfortable with doing it, so that's it.
I could have, like, a genie could come out of a woman's vagina and be like, Dane, don't worry. You can come inside of this person completely risk-free. Nothing bad will happen. There will be no pregnancy. You have 100% guarantee that you can do this with no consequence or repercussion. And I still would be like I don't know if I could physically...
Did you say he came out of there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that would be a whole other can of worms. Like, I don't know...
I realize that would make me incredibly suspicious.
Yeah, dude, you're getting scammed. I would be
the
so
vagina
scared.
genie would definitely
Yeah,
make me more suspicious.
also, like, I wouldn't want to wreck his house. You know what I mean? Like,
Genie,
completely.
Genie's just like, I figured out how to get you covered in cum.
Yeah, like I would. Oh, I know. I wouldn't trust that at all. Also, if I rubbed it, would he just pop out again? Because, like, I will be rubbing that thing.
I definitely did not think about the logistics or the lore of the Vagenie.
The cum genie.
The Vagenie?
The Vagenie?
I didn't even mean to say that. I fucked that up. I meant to say vagina genie, and I just kind of... The Vagenie is...
Guys, we're ending the episode early for the second time. This time because it's a good one this time. Not as bad as our last one.
There's no way we're going to go up from here.
I hope you play the theme tune after each time we end the episode, even just for like a second.
My point being, if I could see the future and I knew that there would be no repercussions to ejaculating inside someone, I think I would still be very weary and probably uncomfortable doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I think I've just been so conditioned to be like, no, bad.
Look, I'd probably do it, but not every time. I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter, though, if we would or we wouldn't.
No.
What matters is he doesn't want to. And that's the thing. It's like you can't force somebody. You know what I mean? You can give them the facts if you want and just be like, look, the risk is very small. But more importantly, I think you also need to talk about what happens if the worst does come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
If you do get pregnant, have that talk. See how you feel after that. And like maybe if you're both on the same page, that'll ease some of his fear. But also if it doesn't, that's it. Like you can't force people to do things, nor should you.
Yeah, I mean, like you said it right off the top. If this was a dude being like, she's on all these things, there's all these precautions, I should be able to nut in her. Why won't she let me nut in her?
How do I convince her to let me nut in her? We'd be like, shut up, dude.
Yeah, and to just further that point a little bit is also the fact that listen to what he says, and if he says, hey, I'm not comfortable with it, have the conversation, exchange facts, exchange everything, and if he says, hey, I'm not comfortable with it, don't then continue to ask. Don't then continue to badger. He knows you want it. He's not going to forget it. Mm-hmm. And if he ever gets to a point where he wants to, he will.
Yes. And I think it's very important to leave that conversation with, like, look, I totally get it. The door is open should you choose to go in. Wink.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, by all means, leave him with the option. Again, not that means you now have that option forever. Consent can be changed at any time. We all know this. But don't, as Dane said, keep asking. Don't press. Don't guilt. Don't make snide comments. Don't punish or withhold for that reason. And especially don't just one day decide, oh, it's fine if I just shove it in. You know what I mean? Because I literally was dating someone who did that before, and I was like, what the fuck? And they're like, I'm on the pill, it's fine. And that turned out they lied about that. So don't be a piece of shit, because again, if a guy was to just shove it in, we would be like, hey, crime.
Mm-hmm.
So be fucking chill. But you cannot force, again, nor should you, for people to do things they don't want to do.
Yeah. And like their solutions to this is have the play, you know what I mean? Like turn it into a game where you guys have come to the conversation and the decision that, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. And you say, hey, that's okay. That's fine. This is still a fantasy of mine. Can we role play? Can we engage in sort of dirty talk, perhaps? Like maybe when you're getting close, I beg you to come inside me. But I know, like, please know that I understand your hesitation, but it would be hot for me to go through those things, but you still have 100%, agency in not doing it. And I won't be mad, I won't be sad, but it would help fuel my sort of like need for it at the moment. You can also do simple things like if you have the ability to sort of like flex your erections, that can also simulate the feeling of ejaculation inside during times of stuff like that. There's things that you can do to play in that space without actually going
Cup of mayo.
Cup of mayo.
Please don't. Please don't. I can't even. I know there's people out there getting scammed. I can't even make jokes.
The Vagenie is so allergic to mayo. He's vegan.
Yeah.
Hey, also, just because Niall said it, please don't put vegan mayo in there either.
No. So the Vagenie has special gills. He can breathe in vagina fluid and he can breathe in cum. He cannot breathe in mayo. Yeah. Immediate death for the Vagenie.
He can breathe air for a little bit, but only long enough to be like, you can definitely come in here, dude. He can get that out and then he's back in.
Yeah, he will gasp these things at you and go red in the face and then slip back in. That is normal.
Just, come. And then slithers back in.
That's basically it. Next question. I think we nailed that one. This is by Charlie Monger, 69. Is cold approaching women in public a real thing? Is it creepy? I want to improve my dating life. I'm 27, live with parents, decent job, but not getting anywhere socially. I used to have friends and an ex-girlfriend pre-COVID, but all that has stopped. And at my age, it's becoming extremely difficult. What do you mean you used to have an ex-girlfriend?
I was going to say, hey, don't worry, man. You still got an ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, presumably.
Unless COVID got her.
Or she's smothered in mayo.
Yes.
Where am I? Where have I gone? I'm naturally an introvert, but I can handle myself in conversation. I've tried a bunch of social groups, did MMA, stand-up comedy, and even got really good at salsa. But for some reason, I never clicked with anyone. No one wants to make friends or hang out at my age, and everyone flakes in those groups. At this point, I've given up making friends. I'd say I'm an average-looking brown guy, grew up in Canada, and never get matches on dating apps and have zero interest shown to me. I can hold conversation fine. I go to clubs and bars solo, but it's difficult without a wingman and not drinking because I have to drive home. Usually, I end up getting nasty looks if I'm bothering them, if I try to initiate a conversation with someone and walked away. At this point, I definitely am getting desperate and look for anything that works. So I found this subreddit called Seduction. They suggest cold approaching during the day. I've heard of it before, but never tried it. Feels weird and makes me anxious to even attempt because I imagine it makes women really uncomfortable. Seems to work, though, and a lot of the guys on the subreddit have results, surprisingly. Hell, there's a whole industry around this stuff. Somehow they talked to someone randomly and got a date, which is more than what I can say. I've never cold approached anyone outside of an organized social event before, and the idea seems daunting. But who knows? Maybe there's a way to do it properly in a non-creepy way. At this point, I just don't see anything else, and if they got results, surely there must be something to it. I also work downtown, so there's that. But yeah, I don't know if it's weird or not, or just how people perceive it. I'm way too socially uncalibrated to see what's acceptable and what isn't. Want to hear some opinions? Thanks.
I feel like we've answered this question before. And
yeah, in various ways, but this is interesting to me because it's outside of seduction.
And it's also, he's done all the things we usually tell people to do, right? Like we usually tell people, join a club, do a class, blah, 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 do this. I think the problem here is, once again, the intention and the goal isn't to better your life, right? Your intention is to, I'm going to go to MMA to get women. I'm going to go to salsa class to get women. I'm going to go to this to get women, or I'm going to learn these skills, or I'm going to get into shape in order to get women. Yes. And that needs to be like, you need to get that out of it. We've talked about it 1,000 times. People sense desperation and people can sense your intention. So if your whole fucking steez is, I'm going to roll up into a club, and you could be the nicest guy, And you could be the most respectful, and you could be the most, you know what I mean, like put together person. But if you go in there and the only thing you're doing is look at like waiting and lurking and waiting to get to, and again, I'm not saying this as like a creepy thing. You could literally be the suavest motherfucker in the room, you know, leaning against the bar, sipping a cool drink. But
what could be more suave?
It's definition of suave. You know what I mean? Like you could be fine in terms of like your outward appearance, but people will pick up on the fact that that's what you're there for. And the second that whiff gets put into the air, everyone knows it. And now you're just a guy going from woman to woman to woman trying to get a date. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's so weird, no matter who you are.
Like, I know I don't want to say this, but also being alone and sober, not really a great look.
Yes.
A lot of the things you do in bars and clubs are around people and drinking. Again, not saying that you need to drink, but what I'm saying is if all you're doing is going from girl to girl to girl and you don't have friends and you don't have a drink, it's like you're red flags everywhere. So I think, one, I don't think cold approaching is going to be any different because it's a worse version of what you're doing now. So you're just going to get worse results. In no way is it better than you approaching people in clubs or bars.
But, and also, you say it right off the top. It makes me anxious. I don't like it. It doesn't seem, I feel like women aren't going to like it. Those are your answers, my dude. Like, most often than not, the woman you're approaching doesn't want anything to do with you. And again, I'm not saying, like, I'm sure if I did it enough, I would be able to find and charm a number of people and get a number and maybe a date out of it. Sure. Could it work? Absolutely. But every approach can work eventually with the right person, the right combination, and the right amount of numbers.
Like a lot of seduction, I think, is absolute bullshit. And I think half that bullshit is people trying to sell their service. And the other half is people just trying to like essentially do fiction online to feel cooler. You know, do some of them work? Yeah, for sure. But again, Dane just said it. You could go like eventually something will work.
That's the thing. If I told you, like, it's the reason why we never give like steps. Right? Like when people ask things like this, we're not going to tell this guy, be like, well, the first thing you need to do, you got to go get a haircut. Then you got to blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like we don't do that because it doesn't work like that for everyone. Well, so it's like the things, sure, but like I'm bald. That ain't going to do shit for me.
And what is bald if not the ultimate haircut?
It's true. But like the thing is, it's like an approach that would work for Niall might not work for me. And it's not that Niall is better at it. It's just what he's playing to his strengths. Don't fucking nod now that we have cameras
on
going.
Video, motherfucker. I got you dead to rights. No, exactly. And if something went well for Dane and I had it on video and I studied it and went up to someone in a different place, different girl, and did the exact same thing, guess what? Probably wouldn't work for a number of reasons. Mainly different girl, different place, and me. Not like it wouldn't be natural. It would almost expressly not work. So
let's be real. You couldn't do what I do.
I couldn't. Look at all this hair in the way. But so I think step one, and Dane touched on it earlier, is you went and you did these things, which again is advice that we give and I think is good advice, but you did them, it seems, dishonestly or disingenuously, because you said I used to do these things and I stopped because I didn't get friends. What you need to do is go out and do a thing that you would do regardless of whether or not you made friends, because you're doing it because you're passionate about it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you fucking love salsa and you kept doing it because whatever, you would build connections because you're there, you're genuine, you're having fun, and it wouldn't be your sole focus of just make friends, find girl, right? So I think that is step one, is fuck doing these things to whatever, like have friends, do things to better yourself. And by that, I mean, do things you enjoy, and the other things will fall into place purely because you're stepping away from this like falsehood. You're being more genuine and you're enjoying yourself more. And those are two huge fucking things.
And like, I don't know how much time you've committed to these things either, right? Like, are you doing like a 4-week introductory?
Fuck it.
Yeah. Like, is that how much you're doing it? Or like, cause I mean, I went to karaoke at my karaoke bar for a very long time. And it wasn't until sort of like the last year or 2 years that I started, like, I have a regular group now. I have like my karaoke guys and ladies and people. Same thing with like when I was boxing. I went to the boxing gym for like 5 years. And I think I hung out with people outside of that maybe twice because I was going there to work out, right? Like it wasn't a social thing for me. So it depends on like what you're doing, what other people are doing. Some people are like, a lot of people aren't going to MMA to be like looking for my new BFF, looking for my wingman. They're going there to relieve stress, get fit, train for a fight, like any number of things. And being social probably isn't at the top of their list in things like that.
Much like you were saying with your two examples, like I've been going to various climbing gyms for a long time, and it's only in the last, I would say, year that I've started to make like climbing friends I would actually see like outside of the gym. It started off as like, oh, the passing chat, and then we knew each other's names, and then blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that was fine because they just kind of happened because I was there to climb. If I had day one been like, oh fuck, we talked, hey, you want to hang out, you want to, like, I think they'd be like, ooh, no thank you. There's a certain level of chill you need to have.
Think of like, imagine you went to a place and you talked to a dude for like 20 minutes tops, and he was like, hey, add me to Facebook. You're like, okay, great, sure, let's add you to Facebook. And it's like, there's nothing wrong, meaning creep you out, you had a nice conversation, whatever. But then like the next day he's like, hey man, want to go grab drinks? Hey man, want to go do this? Well, like, we're all busy. I barely have enough time to see the people I want to see, let alone like the dude I met very briefly. Like if we're going to be in the same place, if you're all like, if I met you at trivia night and you were like, hey, you're going to be at trivia night next week, and I was going, I'd be like, yeah, for sure. But would I carve out like special time for this new guy? No, probably not. So like, you need to temper expectations. And I understand finding friends at this age is difficult. It 100% is. I
don't want it to seem like we're saying it's easy.
Or that it's hopeless.
It's definitely not hopeless, but like, sadly, much like dating, you do have to have a certain level of chill and genuineness and
commitment. Like you need, like, it's not going to happen over like one date, right? Like I feel like you're expecting being like, oh, friendship isn't as serious as relationships or dating or sex or whatever. So it's like when I meet someone and we vibe, like we should be friends now. And it's like, it's still a relationship that you have to foster and 100%. Work on and take steps. And it's like,
and you could definitely move too fast or move too slow or get them at the wrong time. You know what I mean? Some people are busy. Some people are desperate. Like it's almost exactly like a relationship.
Yeah, 100%. And if anything, I would say it's more difficult to find friends because most people already have some, right? Like, so whereas like not a lot of people have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So like while you're dating, you might be a little more desperate, or you might want to, shoehorn a relationship into someone that might not be the best fit. But with like friends, it's like, well, I've already got my group of friends. It's not real, like, it's not a big deal if I don't pursue this one.
Yes, exactly. And like there are additional like relationships fill a certain niche. Usually, as Dave was saying, like it could be one person or a few. Whereas like you could have friends for fucking 2 decades from like high school and shit. And on top of that, it's like sex can overpower. Not even like you could have sex with someone purely because you like sex and not really like the person and make excuses and blah 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 blah. Whereas like with friendship, you're just kind of just friends,
Yeah.
So you need to realize that friendships also take a lot of work and are difficult, but you'll have a better chance at doing them if you're genuine about your passions and you're at a place for more reasons than to just make friends.
Yep.
I'm going to hit you with my next question because I did read it at the start because you didn't read any out.
Whose fault was that?
I believe it was mine by being a meanie. This is by Remote Country 9409. I matched with 3 women around the same time, and now I feel well stuck. I, 26-year-old male, matched with 3 women in the span of a few days on Hinge. I already had started talking to 2 of them, and even went on a date with one of them yesterday in a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing. Date went well, and she wants to meet again. I already had plans to meet the second woman, and I think this date will also go really well since we seem to share a lot in common. The third woman matched with me today and expressed extreme interest in me, and I'd like to get to know her too, since she seems really interested. I thought maybe I could try talking and going on some dates with the 3 of them and figure out from there who I'd like to continue a relationship with, but I feel like I'm being dishonest. I may end up leading 2 of them on. It's also getting a little difficult responding to all 3 girls at the same time. We text and occasionally talk on the phone. I'm also afraid I might be getting myself in trouble because there's a possibility of them finding out, potentially ruining an amazing opportunity to genuinely date one of them. I don't have much experience of being actively pursued by multiple women, so I'm trying to figure out what is the right way I approach the situation. Any advice on how I should handle this? I appreciate the advice in advance. Thanks.
Okay. I kind of led with the the great idea at the beginning of the episode. Whether I left it in or not, or cut it out, I don't know. It depends on how it was. So you might not know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'll cut this out. Who knows?
Damn.
There's two things I want to talk about. First, you're an insane person if you think they're not talking to at least 3 other people on these apps.
Yes.
You're an absolute fucking lunatic if you think you are the only person that these 3 women are talking to.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's what dating apps are for. That's what dating is. It's seeing other people until you find someone that you don't want to see anyone else with. But you have the hilarious opportunity to schedule 3 dates in the same bar or 3 bars nearby and have yourself a good old-fashioned sitcom style running from bar to bar, to seat to seat, to seat to seat, or wherever.
Changing outfits, probably.
Changing outfits, for sure. You have to make sure, like, they have to be different style restaurants, right? Like, one needs to be like a nice, like, you know, suit and tie place. Yeah. The other one has to be, you know, kind of like maybe a dive bar where you're wearing like a flannel. The other one's like a club where you're wearing like a mesh tank top. And you're swapping between all of these pieces.
You get to one and you realize you put the wrong thing on, and the people in the Italian restaurant are like, why are you wearing mesh? And then you're like,
Mamma mia, I can see your nipples.
When I drop tomato Italian sauce on my chest, it doesn't soak into my fancy clothes, and it does spread on my nice body. And they go, damn, that makes sense. I am not suspicious anymore.
And they say, bellissimo.
They do.
And they say, ciao.
They do.
What other things? What other things do Italians say?
Honda Civic.
Okay, that's another personal attack. That's another mean attack from Niall again.
How is that a mean attack from me? What does that mean?
You know.
Now I can't tell if you're joking or.
You know. Well, Niall's getting canceled this episode, y'all.
So importantly, because we're saying it's okay for them to do it, guess what? It means it is okay for you to do it.
This is what dating is. What you are describing is dating. You go on dates with multiple different people. That is allowed until you have a conversation with someone and you say, hey, I would like to only date you exclusively. And that person says,
they agree.
Yes, I would also like that. Then you are in a monogamous relationship where you're not dating other people.
Unless you, for reasons known only to yourself, only want to talk to one person at a time.
Sure.
Which is totally fine once you only have that expectation for yourself. However, you do say you're worried that one of the women finds out and bails and ruins an opportunity. Guess what happens if you just talk to one at a time? You're losing out on those 2 other opportunities.
And if someone on a dating app is like, wait, hold on a second. You've gone on another date with someone else, and also you're talking to someone else on a dating app, and they get angry at you. That's not going to be a good relationship. I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be a bad relationship.
Yes. If they can't, if they just don't know the bare, basic societal rules of dating, if they don't get it, what else do they not get?
Yeah. And also just if that's where we're going to start, if we're going to start in jealousy territory on a dating app, you're in for it, man. Like, you're not going to have a good time.
It's going to be fucking miserable.
Yeah. So dating apps are meant for the almost express purpose of talking to multiple people at the same time. That is what they're there for. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to have multiple matches.
Yep.
Right? That's boom. 2, you don't have to worry about missing out on an opportunity. If someone somehow finds out that you're having other dates with other people and talking to other people, that's a missed opportunity that you don't want to take anyway.
Yes. If they're freaking out, then you've dodged a bullet. Now, I will say, we have pretty much alluded to it, but again, people are out there getting scammed. So let's be specific. If you give someone the impression that you are exclusive with them, or say you're going to be and continue to date people, then you're a shithead.
Of course.
And we're saying don't do that.
And I also there's a difference between leading on and dating, right?
Yes.
If you are seeing these women and you are interested in all 3 of them, if there's something that sparks in you, that's okay. You can pursue all 3, but at some point in time, you might have to sort of have a hard conversation with yourself and be like, is this person a fuck yes? And if they're not, be like, hey, I've had a really great time with you. You're awesome. You're kick ass, but I need to call it quits, or I'm going to move on, or, I don't feel the spark, and I would like to, you just do it respectfully. You do it in a time frame that isn't malicious, because I don't want to put like a specific 4 weeks or whatever. It's like,
and that's the thing. It's like, it's I think what's important is when you realize, right? If you know things aren't really going, like if she's like, you like the attention or you want to keep fucking, but you know that they want a relationship and you only have designs on the other two women, for example, but you continue to see this person because you want to fuck or you like the attention, but they think that you're heading towards somewhere you've already made a decision on, at that point, you're leading them on.
Yes. But that's not to say that you can't have a conversation with them and be like, hey, I don't want to pursue a relationship. However, having sex with you is really fun. Like the sex that we have is incredible. Mm-hmm. So I would be down to have like an occasional casual thing with you.
If you are.
But I understand that if you are looking to date with a little bit more intention, then I just want to let you know where I stand. I'm comfortable with, these parameters. If you're also comfortable with those parameters, great. But I just want to let you know that like I don't think I really want to pursue a long-term or a monogamous relationship.
But that's expressly also not leading them on because you're communicating and being honest.
Yeah.
It only becomes leading on if you're being dishonest, really. And by that I mean like if you know where it wants to go. Yeah, I just explained a second ago. I don't need to do it again.
Yeah, that's going to do it for this episode, friends. But before we go, we're going to hop onto some dating platforms such as Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, in which you can only have one match at a time. And we're going to help you find that singular match right now by looking through profiles, seeing what works, what doesn't work, an effort to make your online dating experience a little more enjoyable. My cat is freaking out.
This is Nameless, living my best trash goblin life. My pronoun is chaos, and my personality is PB&J. I prefer nights in than going out and love quiet cafes. Carpe YOLO, am I right? I'm equal parts willing to screw God's mistress to assert my dominance, and please don't look at me with that tone or I'll cry. I hope you'll also laugh as hard as I do if we're kissing and I start to make vomiting noises. The look of terror on a face when that happens is priceless. I also collect action figures, so you know I'm awesome.
It's like, this is tough because I know some women in my life who would probably write a profile like this who are incredible.
Yes.
But I also, like, all it gives me is, like, I'm so random, rar, like, 16-year-old internet girl energy.
Yeah. It's weird because it really toes the line. There's a very thin line between love and hate. There's a very thin line between cringe and funny here. And, like, I honestly don't really know where it ends up.
Yeah. That's my thing.
Personality type PB&J. That's pretty funny.
Oh, I just got that.
Right? Like, that's pretty funny. I like that. And I like that it's playing on the bullshit. I don't really know what a trash goblin life is. My pronoun is chaos. It's like, I don't know. It's like the right person can pull this off and the wrong person, this would be just harrowing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it would come down to, I think I've got to give it a 5. Like, I got to put it right down the middle.
I think this might be the most flavorful 5 we've ever given. Because I fully agree. I think it is so good at parts and so bad that it really, I don't know which way to go. So despite the fact that this has personality by the bucket load, I think it's a 5.
I think it would really, really, for me, depend on the pictures. If I find this person very, very attractive, I would be like, yes, I will gamble on this. Yeah. But if I found them not all that attractive, I'd be like, I don't think I could handle it.
Not worth the risk.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's got to be just a dead center 5.
The most flavorful 5.
Most flavorful 5. This is Helen. Sport, travel, and outdoors lover. I just want to pet all the dogs. Let's do something together. Really into mustaches right now.
None of this is unique or interesting. You like sport? What sport? You travel? Where? When? Like, you like mustaches. That's the only thing. But I think since Top Gun came out, everyone's into mustaches. So, like, you're also not unique there. It's a 4 because at least I know. Actually, it's a 3.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 4 because it's like there's nothing bad in it. It's boring and it will heavily depend on my level of attraction to you to bump you up into a +5 right swipe territory.
Mm. This is blank. And what I love is the person that sent this in, or I know it wasn't like they didn't match with them, but wherever they found this person is an exact match and meets all their preferences for somebody, which says a lot, I think, about the person. So they are nameless. I'm a father to 3 beautiful, amazing little sex trophies. If you want to know anything, just ask.
Ugh. Like, is that what you're calling your daughters?
Your
kids. They're. I see.
Yes. I was like, are you saying your kids are hot? Like, what? And then I was like, it took me a while. And I was like,
it's a trophy for having
sex. It's a trophy you earned from having, like, hey, still shit.
Yeah.
Still real bad. Still a bad thing to say. And also the fact that, if your profile at any point makes someone go, does he want to fuck his kids? It's a bad profile.
Yeah, because, like, in my mind, I was thinking, like, trophy wife.
Yes,
and then
or
if
like
you're
sex
saying
doll.
Yeah, like if you're saying sex trophy, I'm not thinking them as actual things. Yeah, it's
and that's the thing. Even that, not great.
Yeah,
by any metric. So
no.
I think it will be a 0 for me, good sir.
Yeah, that's gonna get a 0. This is Sid. I don't care what your star sign, but I do want to know what your favorite James Webb telescope or space telescope photo is.
Oh, I like that. It's great. That's fun.
I like that.
That's an 8.
It's got some sass.
That's an 8 right there. It tells me so much.
I'm going to give it an 8 as well.
I love it. Great. You did it. And you know what, guys? That will do it for us today. And I would like to thank Josh Eagle and the Harvest Cities. Josh Eagle and the Harvest Cities for their song Paper Stars. I would also like to thank Dane for performing tonight.
Thank you. On this stage. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been great. Thank you very much for coming out. Once again, our next show, February 8th, with our good friends, Maddie and Liv from 30 Going on 13. Please check out their show. It's so fucking funny. And if you don't believe me, they won a Canadian Podcast Award for Best Comedy Series.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like, it's not even just us. It's all of Canada. So
every Canadian got together and voted. And this is what we came up with. So,
yeah.
You know it's good.
It's going to be it's going to be an unhinged show. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah.
Shit's going to get weird, and it's going to be so much fucking fun. So come along. Black Sheep, 7 o'clock. It's going to be great. Fucking hit us up on any socials. Also, I will say we have a fucking TikTok. Come join our TikTok.
Please.
Yeah. We post some fun videos up there. We've been popping off a little bit on Instagram lately, and that's been a lot of fun. So thank you to everybody who's been joining us for those. We've gotten a few multi-thousand view videos going. If you don't follow us on Instagram, please do. If you don't follow us on TikTok, please do, because we need it. We got to get viral, get big, bring you guys on a cruise with us somehow. But if you just follow F Buddies Podcast on TikTok, you'll find us.
You got some bad sex writing for us?
Oh, I have some terrible sex writing for you. This is from the book Presumed Innocent by Scott Turow. The last time I slept with Carolyn, she pushed me off from her in the midst of our lovemaking and turned away from me. At first, I did not understand what it was she wanted, but she bumped her behind against me until I realized what it was I was being offered. A marble peach. No, I said. Try it. She looked over her shoulder. Please. I came up close behind her. Just easy, she said. Just a little. I went in too fast. Not too much, she said. She said, oh. I pressed in, remained, pumped. She arched, clearly in some pain, and I found, suddenly, that I was thrilled. Her head lolled back, her eyes held tears. Then she opened them and looked back at me directly. Her face was radiant. Does Barbara, she whispered, does Barbara do this for you?
Damn. Barbara, maybe you should.
Maybe Barbara is a wise woman.
Yeah.
Get some lube, dude.
Or, preheat the oven a little bit. Get her going. A little foreplay never hurt anyone.
It's not her oven, dude.
Oh, it's the butt?
It's the butt. It's the marble peach.
I thought the marble peach was just like, she was...
No, I think it's... She got
anal.
Anal. Yeah, it was anal.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I thought the marble peach was just like, she was bent over, and there it was, looking at him.
No. They were already fucking. She rolled away and then was like... Also, if you want to do anal, don't just, like, bump your butt against someone and hope they get it. Talk.
No, I think that's it. I think that's what you do.
I like to proclaim, I'm offering you the marble peach.
Yeah.
But you have to proclaim it.
Yes, there are times where I just say, present thine marble peach. I would like to stick my marble...
Staff of ages.
My marble banana inside of it.
Hate that.
Yeah, it's not great. My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain.
We've been your fuck buddies.